I was very lucky to have Brian McFadden on my podcast early in the off season. If you guys want to see that podcast, I will put the link in the description below for the full podcast. But the reason why I bring up Brian McFadden or BMAC, as a lot of you guys know, he's got his own YouTube channel. He's on ESPN. He's all over the NFL, YouTube, TV, everything like that. BMAC's working really hard. But the reason why I bring him up is because I listened to him on ESPN, and they asked him a question about a sleeper team compared to Commanders or the Steelers, or maybe even just like a sleeper team to win the Super Bowl in general. Now, go and watch that video too. I'll also link that video in the description as well. However, before we do that though, let's backtrack to the off season. I've got a 16-second clip of Brian McFadden calling it in the off season. Here it is, that he's calling the Pittsburgh Steelers to go to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
The road to New Orleans will start in a few months. Let's get ready for the ride. Gas up the cars, baby. Let's get to New Orleans. Gas it up. Let's go.
Hey, thank you, BMAC, mate. I'll see you all later. As always, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
That is one of my all-time favorite clips, and he was such an awesome guest on my show. And BMAC, if you are watching, you're more than welcome to come back on and talk Steelers, and also talk your talk. That is our Pittsburgh Steelers sitting here at 6-2 with a huge game versus the Commanders on Sunday afternoon football at 1 p.m. Now, I'm going to play another clip too from ESPN. I can't play the video side, but I can play the audio. This goes for about 2 minutes. And he's asked a question about who would be a sleeper team in the NFL, or who would be a sleeper team between the Commanders or the Steelers, right? It doesn't matter which way you see the question, if it's Commanders or Steelers, because Commanders are a 7-3 team. Our Steelers are 6-2. We're going to the playoffs. That's going to happen. We're not going to fall over in this gauntlet or whatever it may be. People try and make out these matches harder than what they are. It's not a gauntlet. It's just teams that we have to beat or have to verse. There's the AFC North and the Ravens. We can beat them. There's the Bengals who are struggling. They've only beat teams who have 2-win teams. And the Browns who are playing the spoiler mode right now, but they're not a good side in terms of winning or going far. Well, there's no chance they can go to the playoffs, so they're kind of done. And Commanders, we'll see them very shortly. The Eagles at their house, going to be a tough game. Chiefs in Heinz Field. I'm going to that game, Pittsburgh versus Chiefs at Christmas Day. They call it the gauntlet. I don't think so. But here's Brian McFadden talking about our Steelers, our Pittsburgh Steelers, who are apparently a sleeper team. But I think they're more than that. I think the Steelers have a big chance to go and make noise in the playoffs. And I think the Steelers have a big chance to improve to the number 1 seed. If the Chiefs fall and the Bengals fall, the Steelers can win the AFC North and gain the number 1 seed. Here's Brian McFadden talking about Steelers, a sleeper team for the Super Bowl.
BMAC, we want to talk about your Steelers. Of course, they are facing the Commanders. And one of the most, fun parts of the NFL in the preseason is if you had told us, fast forward to week 10, and we're talking about these teams potentially going to the Super Bowl, we probably would have not believed anybody, because both of these teams were the long shots in their respective divisions. BMAC, fast forward to now, which one of these teams is more of a Super Bowl sleeper in your opinion?
I'll go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was going to say, you weren't, come on, B-Mac, you weren't really thinking. Come on.
Yeah, but hear me out, though. Hear my reasons out why I think they're the biggest sleepers, because to your point, Jacqueline, when the season started, the outsiders, the experts, when they gave their divisional predictions, most had Pittsburgh finishing dead last in their division. Best case scenario, third. Clearly, they have defied those odds already. And then when you look at Washington, yes, you had a young quarterback, a new quarterback, a rookie head coach, but some people felt like this was a playoff caliber team. No one really was saying those same sentiments with the Pittsburgh Steelers, along with a guy who many felt like was a cast-off when it came to the quarterback position in Russell Wilson. They felt like Russell had nothing, could do anything. People had concerns about Justin Fields because of what he did or did not do with the Chicago Bears. So when you look at everything that was going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and oh, by the way, having one of the more difficult schedules in the National Football League, I think they're the biggest sleeper. And then another thing that I like in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers, their road to the Super Bowl is not as deep as it is in the NFC with the Commanders and everything they have to go through to try to get to that promised land, which is New Orleans. I think because of that issue, not having the quantity of high-level teams in the AFC compared to the NFC can actually help Pittsburgh being the bigger sleeper of the two.
I agree with a lot of things B-Mac said there. I do. And one thing that I believe.
Agree with a lot of things that Brian McFadden and B-Mac talked about. Here's one thing at the very start of the season that a lot of people in the NFL analysts, a lot of fans from other sides, other teams in the NFL, if it's AFC or AFC North, or if it's, NFC sides, or, the big sides right now, the Chiefs, the Bills, a lot of those kind of fans, they all laughed. They all laughed at the fact that the Steelers would even be competitive at this point in the season, being 6-2. And I sit back, and a lot of fans who are Steelers fans know how this team works and operates. Omar Khan does a tremendous job going and getting free agents. That is like Patrick Queen going, having a really good draft by getting Darnell or getting Peyton Wilson, or even George Pickens 2 years ago. Like, they're getting pieces and guys on the offense. Like, they've done a really good job drafting, getting Zach Frazier to the center, with some other names I could keep going on. But they do a good job in getting names to the Steelers, and people and players want to play for us. That's what they want to do. They want to play for Mike Tomlin. A lot of people out there don't like Mike Tomlin because they want the playoff wins. They want this and this and this. But the fact is that the players love to play for him. They really want to run through a brick wall. So a lot of teams out there thought the Steelers would come dead last in the AFC North. The thing is, though, there's one team in the NFL or one team in the AFC North who always takes that job, and that's the Browns. The Browns thought they were a quarterback away with their they've got a good defense. I'm not going to lie. They have a solid defense with corners and outside linebacker play. Not a huge fan of Garrett, but he can play. They play. Actually, out of all the teams, I think the Browns might make the most noise and be a bit of trouble for the Steelers in terms of running the ball and playing, physical defense. They could match up well against us. To be honest, the Steelers versus Browns could be a tough match in terms of physicality. I don't really find that from the Ravens or the Bengals this year, because their defense is allowing 35 points per game, or 26 points per game. But a lot of people out there, a lot of fans said that we were going to come fourth. Remember that. Remember they said that. We had the hardest schedule, like Brian McFadden talked about. Russell Wilson came in. He was getting thrown under the bus by a lot of Denver media, including Mark Shreleth. Can't say his name. Never can. Stink or Mark, whatever his name is. He was getting thrown on the bus by so many people, and how Sean Payton treated him and how the owners treated him. And we really got Russell Wilson for $1.7 million contract, and Denver's paying the rest of it. And Russell Wilson has been nothing but great for our organization, for the city of Pittsburgh, for going to the Children's Hospital, for shouting his linemen, his offensive line players or offensive players and receivers and practice squad guys, a dinner every Thursday. Nothing but great for our team to have this camaraderie, have this brotherhood, to play for one another, to play for the city of Pittsburgh, to play for one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. I know people don't like that, but Mike Tomlin is that. He's 3 games away from having another non-losing season and always winning. I understand we need to win playoff games, but Mike Tomlin is doing a heck of a job. And Mike Tomlin versus the rookie quarterbacks is 24-4. Mike Tomlin coming out of a bye is 12-4. He gets his team ready. He has this team ready on defense, on offense. And shout out to Smitty, shout out to Arthur Smith and Danny for special teams. These guys, this guy, do I still have his photo? I don't know if I do. This guy, special teams coordinator, Danny, right? Sorry, I'm a bit all over the shop. But shout out to those guys, all right? These blokes are doing a fantastic job, and that's why Brian McFadden called this. He called this early in the season. He said the Steelers were on the road to New Orleans. Gas up the cars, baby. We're going. We're getting there. And now he's backed it up again. The Steelers have backed it up 6-2, right? They've backed it up 6-2, and here we are, sitting with a game versus Commanders. If we beat this game, will this turn into, oh my goodness, before we play, the Commanders are such an amazing team. They got Jaden Daniels, they got Noah Brown, they got all these crazy weapons. They got all, Washington has got a fast and flowing offense, scoring 35 points a game. Will that go from that to when the Steelers beat them to, it's only the Commanders? Will we see that? You don't know. You don't know. You might see the change of pace in terms of, you might see the change of pace in terms of like everyone crowning the Commanders to be one of the best teams in the NFL, to when the Steelers beat them, there's a pattern here. Once the Steelers beat them, they turn into, oh, it's only the Chargers or it's only the Falcons. And now the Falcons and Chargers are playing good football and they're in the playoff standings right now. And, oh, it's only this team. So we'll see what happens. But back on track, come back one more bit. What Brian McFadden is really saying is there's a chance that the Steelers can go on a Super Bowl run. And why can't they? With the defense they got, with the running game they're building, with the passing attack now, with George Pickens and Mike Williams going down the field, why can't they? Why can't they go on a Super Bowl run? Anyways, guys, I'll let you go to the comments below. Let me know what you think. I think the Steelers can go on a run. I think they can win the AFC North. I think this gauntlet is really just made-up media drama that doesn't need to exist. It's our team. It's a 5-star matchup because we're in it. The Steelers are a 5-star matchup because we're in it. That's right. They have to play us too. It's a made-up media drama, crap, shit, whatever it is. It's terrible. Don't need it. The Steelers are going to focus on game by game, week by week, versus the Commanders, get through that one, then play the Ravens next. Keep going one by one. That's all they have to do, and keep playing good football. But Brian McFadden, I'll play it again. He knew this. He knew this from the offseason when I was talking to him in the podcast. And make sure you also check the link, and I'll put the video in my ending screen with the podcast of me and Brian McFadden. It's a great 1-hour podcast. It's awesome. It goes back to what he his plays he made before his Super Bowl run versus the Colts, all those kind of things. It's a great interview with Brian McFadden, but I'm going to end it here with Brian McFadden knowing that this team was special in the offseason.
The road to New Orleans will start in a few months. Let's get ready for the ride. Gas up the cars, baby. Let's get to New Orleans. Gas it up. Let's go.
Hey, thank you, B-Mac, mate. I'll see you all later. As always, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.